I just really want to make this disclaimer that what works for you might not work for everybody. So when choosing your habits, make sure you're choosing what works for you specifically, not what works for your favorite neighbor, not what works for your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your best friend, but what works for you. Hi all. So I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and one of the best things that I got out of this book is that tiny habits can yield remarkable results. And I guess that's why the title of the book is called Atomic Habits. Similar to every millennial who has spent years upon years trying to find the best routine and the perfect habit, I can say I have tried and tested so many habits. Some worked well, some failed, some I continued to practice, some I totally gave up on, some I picked up later, and I would like to share one of the top habits which I've learned so far that may actually be game-changing or life-changing. So if you find yourself stuck with your routines and your habits, then this video is definitely for you. So without wasting so much of your time, let's get this video rolling. So the very first habit, which is a no-brainer, is to do the one thing that you need to do every day. I know somebody may hear this and be like, whoa, but sometimes just the one action can make all the difference that we need to set up our lives. And a very simple example is like unsubscribing from email lists that no longer serve you, because you know that in the long run that will reduce a lot of clutter or the junk in your email list. Another really nice example is setting up automatic payments with your bills, because when you do so, you're going to realize that you don't have to think about paying all of these bills anymore. So it definitely sets you up for success. Every day you just have to wake up and look at your goals, and when you look at your goals, ask yourself, what is the one thing that I need to do to move this goal from plan A to plan B, or step 1 to step 2. So I did read this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, and another thing I learned relating to this point is that it's not because we have too little time to do all the things that we need to do, but it is that we feel the need to do too many things with the time we have. And after reading this book, I was definitely guilty. I'm sure a few of you watching are also guilty about this point. So it's not that we don't have that much time, it's just that we're not prioritizing our time very well. And if you start incorporating this practice, you realize that once you start prioritizing your time and doing the one thing that you need to do, everything is going to fall in place. So do that and let me know how that has been working for you. So the second point is to practice gratitude every day. And practicing gratitude every day does not necessarily mean you writing down what you're grateful for, because sometimes that could actually be a chore. But I know that we often go through our day on autopilot, and sometimes we forget to stop and smell the roses, see how far we have come, and actually be counting our blessings. I also mentioned practicing gratitude in one of my videos when I was talking about the 24 self-care ideas that you should consider doing. So please check that video out after you've watched this video, because there are so many other recommendations that I had on the video. So we often take for granted what brings joy to our lives. So that's why it's very helpful to practice gratitude. And when you do that a lot, you're going to invite a lot of joy to your life, more happiness and more fulfillment. A lot of people who have done this practice have told me how life-changing this is. And sometimes, again, it doesn't have to be something enormous, right? Like sometimes you can just say, what I'm grateful for today was being able to make it to work on time, or getting out of bed and being happy, or being healthy. It can be something little. It could also be something enormous, like I just got a raise from work. My side business made me $20,000 this month, or something great. But like if you don't practice gratitude very often, then the universe is not going to be open to giving you more. So definitely consider practicing gratitude if you haven't done so already. I know there's so many other gratitude prompts. There's some gratitude journals that are available online if you think that it's going to be very helpful for you starting. But I think it's very important for you to be able to start incorporating this into your daily lives. I also saw a few studies that show that gratitude helps increase your confidence, reduce stress or anxiety, improve your resilience, especially on those days that life throws numerous curveballs at you. I have read a few studies as well that shows that it positively affects your gene expression, and overall it gets you to be a happy person and improves your overall emotional well-being. So if it's something that you haven't practiced, again, I definitely encourage you to do so. So the third very helpful tip is for you to clean in batches versus piling up your cleaning at the end of the week or at the end of the month, or hopefully not at the end of the year. So this has been one of the biggest life-changing lessons for me that I have learned personally. And this is because when you set out time to clean every day when it's time for your actual cleaning day. I don't know if some of you mostly clean on Saturdays, or even if you're having somebody come over to help clean, like it's kind of embarrassing if the person comes and realize that your house is a total mess. So it's very helpful to schedule some time to clean. For me, for example, I do not like the idea of cleaning, and it's when there are certain tasks that you know that you kind of have to do. It's nice to pair it with something that you're actually that will actually motivate you. So for my case, for example, if I'm watching a TV show on my laptop and I know I have to clean my room or my workspace, I know that the laptop is right here, so I can easily look at the TV show and clean at the same time, and before you know it, you have cleaned a lot. Another very good tip for me is that helps me is music. Sometimes you can play it like your uplifting music. I like to listen to Afrobeats when I'm cleaning, and sometimes even at the end of the second music I'll realize that, oh my god, I have done a lot when it comes to cleaning. That way on Saturday and Sunday you're not cleaning from scratch, and you don't have to put in like 4 hours of cleaning that day. So if you're somebody who doesn't like cleaning, you can try to set up a timer every day. And again, so most of these examples are just from what works for me, so just try to find what works for you. But for me, some days I'm just going to come in from work, and after changing and eating dinner, I'm just going to tell Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes, and at the same time I'm going to have her play my favorite music, and I'm just going to clean, and by the time she's telling me 15 minutes is over, you'll be very amazed at how much work you have put in. And lastly, if you find cleaning very overwhelming, it's very important to sectionalize it, I guess. So if you live in a very big house, for example, you can just say, okay, on Tuesday I'm only going to tackle my bedroom, or on Monday I'm only going to tackle the kitchen. I also try to section my house, and I realized that I end up spending more time cleaning on high traffic areas, which makes sense. If there are other guest rooms, for example, that people are not currently living in, I wouldn't expect you to use like the weekdays to clean. Maybe leave it to the weekend or when you're expecting a guest. But like other high traffic areas like your kitchen and all of that, we will need cleaning. So there's nobody who would tell me that you don't need to clean your house. I mean, unless you have cleaners coming in very often, more often than once a week, then you probably don't need these tips. But I feel like this tip will be very helpful for anybody who is having trouble organizing, and that was me. I'm still working on it every day, obviously, but I haven't gotten there. But this tip is very helpful. It's going to definitely set you up. That way, when you're done cleaning for the 15 to 20 minutes, you can spend the rest of the time to do whatever you are interested in, maybe a hobby or just resting or watching a movie or anything, taking care of your family and all of that good stuff. So the fourth point will be to simplify and prioritize your morning routine. I guess prioritize first, then simplify. And this will be any part of the morning routine that you're willing to work on. For me, for the longest, I have been trying to simplify exercising and my skincare in the morning. Previously, I used to exercise in the evening after work just because I was too lazy to wake up earlier than I needed to, because I just wanted to wake up just in time to get me ready for work and out of the door, or when I was working from home, just wake up in time to get me in front of my laptop to start working. But when I moved exercising to the morning, I did see a lot of significant differences, not even in the health aspect, not even like in the weight loss aspect, but mostly in feeling accomplished already very early in the day, and the way it made me feel throughout the day, like boosted my energy and all of that good stuff. So after I worked on that, I started trying to prioritize my skincare, because again, previously I would just get myself enough time to get out and get ready for work, and when you're just giving yourself enough time, you don't have that time to prioritize skincare. So for me, I have been prioritizing my skincare in the morning, and what really works for me is just having a simple routine, and that's why I call it simplified, right? You don't need the most expensive products out there, because sometimes more expensive does not mean it works more. You don't need to have a lot of dilemmas like, okay, yesterday I tried vitamin C, today do I try vitamin E? If you're getting to that stage where you're very confused and your skincare routine is not simplified, it's very helpful to talk to an esthetician or a dermatologist that will help you simplify that routine for you, because when you get overwhelmed, you tend to miss certain things, and sometimes when you're very overwhelmed, you end up not doing anything. right? I don't know if it's just me who feels that way sometimes. And another good thing is that in the morning when you're doing your skincare, that's like your me time, unless you're doing it with like a significant other or a friend or family, then that's also a very nice time to bond. And when you're doing your skincare, just remember less is more. Less is more. And try not to use more than 6 products on your face, because at that point you're really pushing it. And even if you're doing skincare with another person or you follow other people for skincare motivation, every skin type is different, and always try to make sure that you're using the product that works for you. And I'll always come back to see how you feel about your skin. And again, similar to skincare, I use skincare extensively because that's what I'm currently working on. But if it's like your exercise routine, try to change it up and see what really works for you, and especially something that you can stick to and make it very sustainable. If it's anything, drinking water in the morning, drinking your morning tea, meditating, all of those, try to find what actually works for you and what you can stick to. So the 5th point is to invest in yourself. Just investing in yourself, you will receive one of the best dividends you can ever receive in life. It's better than any stock market investments. One of the best investments that I have done that I really do not regret is starting to read. And a tip for any of you watching me who does not read, just try reading little things that you like, and then you can just set, I think there's a rule called a 2-minute rule. Find the type of books you like. So for example, if you like reading fiction books, you can try setting out a timer for like 2 minutes only. I'm going to try 2 minutes and trying to read the book. And again, it should only be genres that you love or books that you love or on topics that you love. That way you end up loving the act of it. So it's always helpful to read what you love until you love reading, if that makes sense. Other good ways to invest in yourself is like finding a mentor, talking to people from different cultures and backgrounds and religions and traditions and skin colors and everything, because you realize that there's always something to give and there's always something to receive. So one of the best things that you receive obviously is knowledge. It can also change your biases, in your cognitive biases, in the way you see other people and in the way you process different information. So that's another type of investment that you can consider. You don't necessarily have to travel, but traveling is another good one. Going to different places and seeing the way they do different things and how they eat and how they respond to different things. Also talk to people from different political backgrounds. I think I mentioned religious backgrounds, but political as well, because you'll be very amazed at how when you look at things with a different lens, you can definitely understand where certain people are coming from. Have you ever heard of the statement, your network is your net worth? This obviously means the types of friends you keep. Trust me, having very good quality friends are a great investment. Apart from the emotional wellness aspect of it, having friends that have similar goals and interests and are always there to encourage you, motivate you, uplift you, and are not jealous, they're not toxic, they're definitely very helpful. And I get it, friendship requires a lot of nurturing, just like any other plant or any other human being that needs nurturing to grow. You have to nurture your friendship in order to get the best out of your friendship, I guess. And that's why it's very difficult to have 1,000 close friends or even 100 close friends, even 10. But this is probably an unpopular opinion. I do not have up to 5 close friends. But yeah, I do have quality friendship, and all of my friends are very helpful in that I'm able to give and receive. And that's the kind of relationship that is very nice when it comes to investing in yourself. Because if you have anything or if they have anything, they are usually very good at being the go-to person, or you can be their go-to person for a lot of things, unless it's something that needs like mentorship, you know. But friendship is also a very good way of investing. It took me a while to actually realize that. And obviously I was younger, so I did not really understand the value of friendship. But friendship is very valuable. And some friends actually become family members, even though family is obviously the ultimate. But some friendships actually grow to be family, which is where a lot of my friendships are right now. Alright, enough with the friendship TED Talk. One of the good ways to also invest in yourself is through online courses. I cannot count how many online courses I have taken, whether it be on YouTube University, which is free $99. I've had some courses on Skillshare. I've had some courses on different online platforms, and I feel like I'm always finding a way to learn new things. And it's really good because I really like learning about new things. That way I'll be like, because there's so many things that I feel like I learn when I like enroll in a course. And if I enroll in a course and I realize I'm not learning anything, then that's obviously a waste. waste. But I feel like most people who sell courses know that there is something that they have to give. So obviously, if you are looking for ways to learn, you can go ahead and look into courses. And again, some of them are on YouTube for free. You can also learn a new language, and that's something that I have been looking at doing for further investment in myself. That way, if I travel, or even if I don't travel, I can sit and watch a movie in other languages. Right now I only know French and English, but I'm trying to expand that to other languages. And again, I just really want to make this disclaimer that what works for you might not work for everybody. So when choosing your habits, make sure you're choosing what works for you specifically, not what works for your favorite neighbor, not what works for your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your best friend, but what works for you. So for example, if you want to start a diet lifestyle, for example, intermittent fasting may not work for you, the keto diet may not work for you. If you want to exercise, high intensity may not necessarily work for you. So if you're trying to build habits and you're building it with things that don't work for you, then you're going to crumble. And when you crumble, you're not going to come back, because there is no point coming back to what did not work to begin with. So always take some time and reflect and ask yourself, okay, is there something I find myself doing in the long run? Because everything, habits, it appears that I guess based on studies, it takes up to 21 days for you to develop a habit. So if you're starting up and you're already noticing some pushback, like it's not really working, then chances are it's not going to work for you. And just remember that the beginning could be hard, but it's definitely worth it. Some few tips for sustainability is that if you're trying to build habits, don't try to build 200 habits at the same time. I'll obviously recommend starting with one and picking it up and building it up and building it up. You can also try to set up your environment for success. So I'm going back to the diet changes habit. So if you decide that you're going to start eating healthier or exercising more, it's good to obviously change your environment by removing all of the bad foods and junk foods. And as far as exercising, just make sure you have good workout clothes always ready for you. That way, when you just say, okay, I'm exercising tomorrow morning before I go to work, then you know that those clothes are already ready, versus you waking up and be like, okay, I don't have clothes, or okay, I really want to eat healthy, but I'm seeing all of this 10,000 cookies in my pantry, so I just want to finish the cookies first before I start eating healthy. At the end of the day, when you're making a change, do not compare yourself to somebody else. Do not compare to somebody on Instagram. Do not even compare to somebody who is standing beside you, because everybody's journey is different and everybody ends up picking up differently. So just make sure you're creating a system that works for you and you're setting yourself up for success. And also know that your system could change on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis. But as long as you're not giving up on that particular routine that you're trying to set up, you're going to find that you're going to end up being very successful. And just remember that the reward system is also really helpful. So you can tell yourself that, hey, if I'm able to work out for 5 days in a week, then on the 6th day, I'm going to buy myself my favorite pair of earrings or my favorite dessert or something, just so that you're getting that dopamine boost and you're motivated to continue pushing it. I've been doing that and it's been working a lot for me. I always tell myself, well, these are the routines I have to work on. And if I get to do 30 over the 45 of the routines on a weekly basis, then I'm going to give myself XYZ. So every week I have my rewards that are always waiting for me at the end. Then if I don't complete all of these routines, then I obviously don't get the rewards. So that's all I had for this video, guys. I hope you found it helpful. I'm hoping that there was at least one point that you were able to take away from this video that you will consider life-changing. And I would be very interested to hear your thoughts and your comments down below in the comment section. Please let me know if there is anything else that I missed. I know there are so many ways. I only talked about 5. But to be honest, when I sat and thought about this video, I had about 9 ideas in mind. I could make another part 2 of the video if you guys find this video interesting, but I will end that for today. And I hope you guys have a great day, great whatever time you're watching this video. Do make sure to check out my previous videos, and when you click on it, I will see you on the other side. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.